Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2023 Exorcist Legacy sequel, The Exorcist Believer. The film is directed by David Gordon Green, and it stars, we've got Jennifer Nettles, Leslie Odom Jr., Ellen Burstyn, Ann Dowd, and we have Olivia O'Neill and Lydia Jewett. Now, this is a direct sequel to the original Exorcist, forgetting all the others that have come after, prequels, sequels, all that kind of stuff. And it focuses on two young girls, two teenagers. They head off into the woods to kind of do a little bit of a seance type thing, because one of the girls is missing her mother, who she's never met. She died in childbirth. And essentially they go missing for 3 days, but they feel they've only been missing a couple of hours. So when they eventually turn up, everybody's relieved to see them, these two teenage girls, both families. But then strange things start happening with both the girls. They appear to be very, very damaged, and it becomes very clear very quickly that there is something otherworldly going on, possession-wise. The father of the young black girl, Angela, seeks out Chris Mitchell, played by Ellen Burstyn from the original Exorcist, who wrote a book years previously about her experience and has become something of an expert on exorcism, in order to help. This then leads to a final, eventual confrontation where the whole community comes together to try and assist these families in exorcising the demons from the girls, or the demon. Right, what are my thoughts on The Exorcist Believer? Well, this film has been getting a battering, I think it's fair to say. For me, it would seem that after Halloween Ends, that David Gordon Green delivered. I mean, he's obviously the director that delivered us the modern Halloween trilogy that he did recently. Everybody loved the first one that he did. People's eyebrows started to raise on the second one, and on the third one, it was pretty much everybody held their hands up and said, no, forget it. I personally enjoyed his Halloween trilogy. I thought there was, did he make all the right decisions? No, probably not, but I still found them entertaining. So when I found out that David Gordon Green was delivering us a new Exorcist film, and not only an Exorcist film, very similar to what he did with Halloween, like a legacy sequel he did with the first Halloween. It was a direct sequel to the first one, and they forgot about all the other films. And that's exactly what he's done with this one, with very much the similar people on board, all the writers and producers, all that kind of stuff. Danny McBride's involved as well, all that kind of stuff. So I was personally quite excited to see what he could give us. Has he succeeded? Well, if you look at the internet and YouTube, it's a resounding no. Now, I'm one of these, I always like to reserve judgment for myself. Very rarely do I think that films suck as badly as the larger community say. For me, sometimes people just get themselves worked up into a frenzy, especially these days, and if it doesn't give people exactly what they want, they spit the dummies out of the prams, a lot of people. So I was kind of going in with this quite hopeful, I'm not going to lie. I'm quite looking forward to it. However, while I don't think this is the complete disaster that many people are saying, there's no getting away from it that he has absolutely dropped the ball here for part of this film. And it is an absolute shame, because the first half of this film, I think, is excellently done. I mean, it's shot beautifully. It pays homage to the original Exorcist with some of the scenes that it shows. Some people will like that, some people will hate that. I know Mark Commode, because I watched his review of this, hated not only the film, but he hated the fact that it was trying to, in his mind, I suppose, steal, inspiration from the first one by using some of the same scenes, sort of thing, just filmed differently. But if you know anything about Mark Commode, you know that Exorcist is his favourite film of all time. He's even done a very well done documentary about the film that is available on many of the special editions of Exorcist. So for me, it was a no-brainer that he was going to hate this film. So the setup, the first half of this film, I think the setup here is really, really good. The introduction of the characters, um, what happens to the girls, going missing for 3 days, the families, finding them, and then figuring out what's going on, and then the slow decline into the possession sort of thing that the girls go through, and then the tests in the hospitals, and even the introduction of Ellen Burstyn, as Chris McNeil. Um, for me, it all was nicely done, maybe not expertly done, but certainly nicely done, and very, very watchable, and quite respectful at times, even though there will be definitely some lines of dialogue that some people will absolutely hate. And I do think, I don't know, maybe people take things a bit too seriously. For me, where this film fell off a cliff a little bit, or quite a lot, was when they start the exorcism. It's almost like a confused approach to exorcism in this film. They try and do like a combined belief system, so it's not. Whereas the first film, many people say, like the original Exorcist, was the best advertisement for Catholicism that the world has ever seen. This one is very confused in its religious approach. Now, I'm not a religious person, so I don't generally give a monkeys. But it slaps you in the face how confused the film is, because at this exorcism, it's like, they couldn't fit any more people in the room. You've got what would seem to be like a witch doctor. You've got a pastor, and you've got like half a dozen other people at this exorcism, and everybody but a priest. And it just seems absolutely bizarre to me. And this pastor, he was like one of them pastors in America that try and get coax money out of people. It's a miracle, one of those sort of people. And they're all like waving crosses and all this kind of stuff at this exorcism and not making a blind bit of bloody difference. And then when a priest does decide to show up, he lasts about 30 seconds. It's almost like, forget Catholicism, which was such a big, strong message in the first one, where this is modern now, there's far more beliefs out there. But it's done very, very clumsily, in my opinion, and the exorcism scenes, for me, just felt over the top and too theatrical. And it's a real shame, because it also takes away from, I think, two very, very special performances by the two girls, who are being possessed. It's taken away from their performance, because they are really quite excellent, and I do think that's a shame. And there are some good performances here. You've got, I think, Ellen Burstyn, who makes a return, obviously, gives a powerful performance, but she's not in the film anywhere near enough as the trailer might make you think. There is Leslie Odom Jr. as the father of Angela, who gives a good performance. It's just clumsily handled, this film. It's almost like, and one thing I do agree with Mark Kermode, it's almost like it's been made by people who maybe like and respect the first one, the original Exorcist, but they don't necessarily understand it. It's a film I would like to see again, probably a couple of times, to really soak it all in and digest it all. But it's a film of two halves. The first half of the film, I think, is done very, very well. The second half of the film is not done very well and mishandled in many, many ways. And it is a real shame. But it's not. I don't think it's the disaster that many people are making out. They're saying it's like the worst Exorcist film ever made. It isn't. There are some things of merit here. It's just because you leave the film on such a low because of the ham-fisted exorcism scenes, you forget what was good before, if you like. But I would say, if you're a fan of the Exorcist original, give this one a chance. But in my opinion, if you really want to see a true sequel to the original Exorcist that is far better than this film, watch the Exorcist TV show, especially the first season, because trust me, that is a sequel to the original, worthy of the original. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.